waders and ground shoes. These are for the sock. Your bag. Retainer wire. It's quite remote, I wouldn't have thought they did, but it just gives us a little bit more security, but not necessarily needed. Can I scroll out while it's...
We'll have a play of it on the bank as well, mate. It's doing a hell of a lot easier.
Load of shit.
That's a sexy pose now. We are down in the south of France on another wild European adventure. I'm with my good friend Neil for the week. We don't know where we're going to end up, and we don't exactly know what venues we're going to fish this week, but we've started off at this probably about 30-40 acre, what is like a big sand bowl kind of pit right down in the south of France. It's freezing cold and raining at home, but it's lovely, glorious sunshine here in France. Now, we started off our day yesterday at the unit, loading the van, and then we had only a couple of hours sleep before we got on the Eurotunnel in the early hours in the morning. We've now travelled all the way down through France. Took a long time to get here, about a 14-hour drive, and when we got here late last night, it was too late really to come down to the spot. So we just chucked some bed chairs out the side of the van, and we slept in a little car park and had quite a tasty pizza from a local pizzeria. The sun just started coming up. We've parked the van at the top of the hill, and I think we've by far had probably the hardest barrow ride I've ever done. I think Neil dropped his barrow several times, but fair play to him, he cracked on and we finally got down here. So the sun is now well and truly up, the temperatures are getting up, and now it's time to get all the gear set up, get it out, get the boat out, try and find some fish, and then fingers crossed there's a few carp in this lake that we can go after. We know it's done fish before, we've kind of done a little bit of homework, but if it doesn't pay off here, because we're not entirely sure if you can night fish or not, we're just going to play it by ear. We may be heading off to a different venue, or we'll give it a couple of nights, and again, if nothing kind of comes to avail and we don't catch anything or we don't see anything, then we'll be heading off back up through France, stopping off at a few different venues on the way. So enjoy, join us for this little adventure, and fingers crossed we'll have a few good carp to show you throughout. I've just been out for a spin in the boat, just to have a look, just to see what's out in front of us and see if I can find any features. And it is absolutely featureless. It's about 3.5 metres. I think it was the deepest I got, and it is pretty much that consistent sort of throughout. The water temperature is about 10 degrees. Didn't see any signs of any fish on the feature finder, but that being said, we're going to give it a go. We've put a couple of rotor blocks out and we're going to bait quite heavy between them. Rig wise, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach one of the uni leg clips, one of the brown ones, one of the leaders, because there was very little in the way of snags out there, and I'm probably going to set it so it doesn't drop the lead. The reason for that is we're going to be using heavy leads, we're fishing a long way out. Leads are expensive, there's no snags, so there's no requirement to drop it on the take, so I'll be setting my uni leg clip up on the side that doesn't drop the lead. Rig wise, just something suitable for fishing in the sand, so that'll be, oh, there's a random dog just appeared, so that'll be a sort of a blowback rig or a combi rig, something like that, something that's going to present nicely over that sort of soft sand. But there we go, me and Neil now going to get the rods ready, get some rigs on, get some bait prepped, get them out, and then it's probably time to get at least a cup of tea and some breakfast.
Been out in the boat already for a quick zip around. It's all very much the same, just a dead flat bottom, no problems at all out there, which is nice for once. We're normally struggling. very basic rig, same as normal, multi-rig and a little Ronnie rig with a small 12mm pop-up on. We'll see how it goes. We've got plenty of time at our disposal, so there's no mad rush. So basically, get in the boat, get out. George put rotor blocks already out. So what we've got is a very easy target to line up with when we go back. We're going to bait in a little line and fish different things. We've got the luxury, it isn't that far out, so we can just motor backwards and forwards. We don't want to rinse batteries. It's a long walk back to the van. So I think we're in with a chance. There's other people fishing, so there's definitely fish in here, which is a good omen, I hope. So yeah, we'll see. Basics, and hopefully we can catch some big fish. So I've just gone out in the boat, put a big spread of bait out, and also we've just dropped 2 of Neil's rods at the same time. We're going to drop 2 at a time just because it's going to save on the battery a little bit. We've only brought the 1 battery down with us, and that is a hell of a ramp to get back up again to get more battery. So we're going to try and save on battery where we can. So next up, we're going to sort of put my rods out. I've opted for 3 different rigs on this occasion, and a slightly variation in sort of hook baits, and that's purely because we don't exactly know what is out there. We know it's a sand sort of bottom, it's quite soft, but we don't know as in terms of what stock of fish is in here, so we don't know whether there's catfish, bream, carp, but we're just going to give it a go. So I've opted for 3 different style of hook baits. I've done like a rotator rig with a white little pop-up, and then done a little bit of a bigger, sort of stepped up a little bit with sort of tigers and a bit of cork, making like a little ring on a rotator rig. And then I've just gone to something that is completely pinned down to the bottom with a tiger and a little bit of pop-up yellow corn for sort of that visibility aspect. Now we're going to have a couple of days here, like I said, and we're going to give it a bit of a go, see what happens. We're not expecting big things, but if it does happen, then absolutely brilliant. Like, scenery is fantastic, and obviously it's sunny, and back home it's raining, cold and wet. Right, next up, better get back in the boat, get back out, get some rods out. You done my tea bag? No. A very good morning, and unfortunately nothing to really report. Neil had a couple of bream in the night, and he's yet to put his rod back out. I think we was both so tired yesterday that just the idea of a good night's sleep was sort of on the cards, really, just so we're fishing a little bit more effectively today. Now, we wasn't entirely sure what was in this lake. Neil's confirmed that there's a few bream in here, but the locals down the bank, fishing about 100 yards, have kind of confirmed to us that there are some nice carp in here, in excess of 30 kilos to go after. All but being, we think this is probably going to be a low stocked sort of venue. We haven't seen or heard anything throughout the night, so tonight is going to be a bit more of just a sit and watch and listen. And if we can see or hear anything, then we'll probably sort of stick it out for another night. And if nothing happens today or tonight, then we may look to relocate to a different venue tomorrow. But in the meantime, today, I think it's all just going to be about trying to find some carp
and just enjoy this absolutely brilliant sunshine. What did you say the temperature was today?
Topped out 19 degrees.
19 degrees, yeah.
If you're at home, I feel sorry for you because it's still pouring with rain, so this is a little bit of a treat. We're going to make the most of it.
Yeah, so there we have it. 19 degrees, sunshine, good bit of fishing, and a nice cup of tea. That's quite a good cup of tea, that now. Plan wise, so five and a half hours to the reservoir.
Yep.
We're see through tonight here.
Yep.
If nothing happens tonight,
yep,
we then have a slow pack up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So then head towards the reservoir tomorrow afternoon, which means we get there when it's dark, and then we just find a place to plot up when we get there, get some sleep. Bonjour. Find somewhere to sleep, and then we're
ready to go first thing.
Good to go first thing.
Which is a good plan. And I think tomorrow, during the day, I reckon we get bivvies, bed chairs, everything up there. If we get a bucket together, we're not going to put another rig out though, are we?
Not here, not necessarily here.
Everything can go, literally, bar the rods. Rods, net, unhooking mat, camera gear.
Yeah.
Other than that, we don't need anything here at all.
Yeah, unless you start having it off and then change your plan. Yeah. Yeah, good idea. All right, let's do that, that's a plan. All right, this may seem absolutely bonkers, but me and Neil have just sat there making a plan of what we're gonna do. And then within about 10 minutes, we've completely changed that plan. And now we're packing up as quick as we can to move off. And that's for no other reason than it just does not feel right. When we're doing these big European trips, it kind of all goes on a lot of how you feel about a venue and where you sit in and how things look. And so far, we're just not feeling confident. As much as we love sitting in the sun and we sat on a really nice, like comfortable beach in nice hot sunshine, that's not us at the end of the day. We want to go off and catch some carp. So what we're doing is we're having a quick pat down. It's about 2 o'clock now. It's going to take a couple of runs to get back to the van. That was a hell of a lot of effort and a massive drive for what is just over a 24-hour session theoretically on this venue, but hey, we want to catch some carp. We're going to make the move now, back up that massive hill, a couple of barrel runs, and then we've got about a 5-hour drive. Flipping out, I mean, talk about effort. We've got a 5-hour drive after a couple of barrel runs to a reservoir that we know is sort of in the middle of France, and that gives us a couple of nights there. And again, we'll play it by ear. If it looks good, we'll stay. If it doesn't, then we'll move off to the next venue. But I'm gonna get pat down quick, and the next you'll probably see me is in the van or struggling trying to get up the hill with my barrow. Back in the van, just sorting out some directions now, and then we are heading off to sort of the middle of France. So we're about an hour north of Dijon. We've got about a 5.5 hour drive from where we are. Quite a bit dark now, but yeah, finally got the van loaded. We literally just, as you can probably see, we have just literally just chucked it all straight into the back of the van because time's up against us. We're not going to get there till probably, what's the time now? 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably about 8, 9 o'clock with a stop. And then the plan is to get there, get the bed chairs out. Depending on how we feel, we'll get some rods out and then probably effectively start fishing tomorrow. But yeah, 5.5 hour drive, next stop, centre of France. Big reservoir. Well, it is now about midnight. Me and Neil have made the mammoth drive back up north. I mean, talk about effort, and hopefully effort equals reward. We drove all the way down to the south of France to a lake where we just wasn't feeling it. And now we've made the decision to drive back up north. We've come up about 350 miles, something like that, to a reservoir just outside Dijon. So we've plotted up. We're on a bank which we know you can night fish from. We've never fished a reservoir before, and we're hoping for big things. Like all big reservoirs here in France, they tend to be stocked pretty well. So we found ourselves in quite a good peg with the wind blowing into it. We've got good weather for the next few days. We've got our bivvies up, and actually we've put some rods out for the night. We haven't gone out in the boat this evening. We've just literally just cast them out, and then I've put a few spods out. Neil's used a throwing stick to get them out over the top. So this is us for the night. I'm going to get some sleep now. Fingers crossed we get a fish in the night, but unlikely. And then tomorrow we'll be getting the boat out, get the fish finder out, and then we'll head out and try and find some features out in the lake. So fingers crossed for tonight. If not though, tomorrow we're set to work on actually getting some proper fishing done.
How happy are you, George?
We've come from fucking beaming sunshine in the south of France to what is like UK fucking weather in northern France. People think we're mad, mate. Right, yeah, what's down there? It's been a busy morning this morning. Both Neil and I have both been out in the boat in pretty much all weathers, I think. At one point it was raining pretty hard, but we kind of stuck with it, kept out in the boat, and kept trying to find some features. Now, being a reservoir, it's pretty much just a big muddy hole in the ground, but there are a few little bits of structure out there, and we're fishing up what's like a dam wall next to us with a road going over it. And there's a little gap in that dam wall for the water to be able to flow from sort of one half of the reservoir to the other half. And within that gap, we found some good variations in depth, and actually a few fish come up on the feature finder itself. So we're feeling pretty confident we're in a good area. We've put a few scoops of bait over each one. Neil knocked up some bait earlier on. Just a bit of Odyssey Triple X, some hot chorizo, and plenty of tiger nuts, and that's always seems to have done us quite well on these sort of European adventures. So why differ from what we know? We've finally got them rods out, we've come back in, the kettle's on, and it's time to get a little bit warmer. Sit back now, enjoy the afternoon, and we'll also be getting some lunch on as well. So fingers crossed we can end up with a carp or two, but if we don't, we're having a great time anyway. All right, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. You can probably barely see me, but we've just had an absolute nightmare. About a dozen locals have turned up who kind of are like the local pike fishing club, and they are causing us a lot of fraction and confrontation. So I don't speak the best French, neither does Neil. To save any aggro and to save the hassle, we're literally going to pack up. We're also struggling for other venues at the moment, so we're going to pack up at the moment as quickly as we can, get all the gear in the van, and then we're going to make a plan and then head off to the next venue. But so far, Neil just summed it up really well.
this trip does feel somewhat jinxed. Winter fishing is the hardest as hard as it can be at times, but going from venue to venue to venue right now and travelling long distances, 4 to 5 hour, 6 hour drives is not ideal. So France being flooded as well also really doesn't help with the venue selection. Right, for now, I'm gonna get packed up and get in the van and make a plan on what we're gonna do next. If I look a little tired, it's probably because I am. Now, me and Neil, we've had an absolute nightmare of a trip so far. We started off down in the south of France, wasn't really feeling it, just on a lake that we were sat, not catching anything, not seeing anything, and we felt we needed to move. So we made probably, I don't know if it was a good decision or a bad decision, to start driving back sort of homeward bound. And we stopped off at a massive reservoir in the middle of France. We had a lot of trouble from the locals, so we thought, you know what, let's just pack up and go. So we've left, and then we've really struggled to find somewhere else to get fishing. So call us stupid, and we probably are, but we've made the decision to drive 6 hours, that's right, yeah, 6 hours further sort of northeast over towards the Netherlands, and we are on a small little park lake now in Holland. So we've had a bit of a sleep this morning. We got here so late last night, I think it was about 3 o'clock by the time we got a few rods out. Managed to pump up the boat, we had a bit of a second wind, and we found some spots and we're fishing. So we had a bit of line this morning. I'm now just cooking up some beans and sausages, a cup of tea and a cup of coffee, sort of for a late breakfast. And then I think we're gonna make a plan what we're gonna do today, but we've now got 2 nights. I think the plan is to, Neil, I think the plan is to stay here. Fingers crossed. Yeah, so Neil agrees as well. I think we've done a lot of driving, we've done a lot of effort. We've heard carp in here when we arrived last night, and we know there's big carp in here to be had as well. So here we go, venue number 3. After about what feels like a 3,000 mile drive, it's got to be worth a carp or 2. This fish has come to a lot of hard effort and hard graft. Many miles and a lot of time sat in the van. We've travelled all the way down to the south of France, back up again, and then over to the Netherlands, and then I've managed myself a mid £30 mirror from a park lake. So we've still got 2 nights of this little European adventure, and I think we're going to try and stick it out here. That's 2 bites I've had today, 1 lost, 1 converted, and now it's over to Neil. I really hope he manages to get one during the night. I'm going to get a few stills of this before we lose the light, get some dinner on, and then fingers crossed for some more of these lovely carp during the night. Bit of a funny old character this one, but very, very welcome. Right, off you go. Thank you very much. Probably best not doing that whilst holding the camera. Alright, so as we come up in here, I went out in the boat a little bit earlier on, and there was a carp sat right in amongst the rushes. I'll try and get on him if I can. There he is. So I don't know if you can see that, where the rushes are moving. Right there's a carp. Took a little while to find them coming out in the boat. Once you found them, and it looks like he's feeding as well. In fact, there's 2. In fact, there's a third. There's a couple of carp just here. See that? A couple of carp feeding there in the rushes. So now I need to try and put a rig in and amongst all these rushes. So the plan is to put a little bit of bait in this area here, drop a rig because I can get a little clear channel out, and try and hook ourselves another fish. Same as what I've been doing all week, and in here we've got a good mix of Odyssey Triple X. There's some of the new Pro Stim in there, and then loads and loads of liquid as well. And there's also different sizes you'll note as well. So there's 18s, 24s, and 15 millers in there. So a good variation in size and flavour, and that'll leave loads and loads of attraction in the water. Get another scoop out on there. Not baiting too heavy. That's sort of cut the scoops. Now I'm going to try and do this one-handed. This is the rig that's been doing the business so far this week. It's quite hard to do this, filming and controlling a boat. An 18mm bottom hook bait with bright pink, ready coloured Northern Special, 18 inches worth of Camo X, and then a uni leg clip system, a 6-ounce gripper lead. Let's try and drop that now on the spot if we can. Down it goes. Straighten it up a little bit. Good. I'm going to put one extra scoop of bait sort of over that spot. There we go, perfect. Right, let's get the rod back. Fingers crossed, we get ourselves another carp. Very good morning, and I'm woken with this absolutely pristine carp. Now there's all hustle and bustle going on around us. There's people going off to work, there's commuters on their bikes, and then you can hear all the ports and all the dockyards behind us sort of working hard, all the cranes sort of moving around, and people going about the start of their day. And there's me and Neil sat by the side of this little park lake, and I've managed another absolutely stunning carp. So I think it's predominantly going to be day bites. Waiting for that sun to come up. It was absolutely freezing last night. I was really pleased I had my hot water bottle with me. The sun's just started coming up, and as it hits that reed line the other side of the lake, we're hoping for a few bites. But that being said, let's get a couple of stills of this beauty, get her back. I then think it's time to get the kettle on and get a bit of breakfast. What a carp. That was a very long night for myself and Neil for all the wrong reasons, really. The wildlife on this lake was just phenomenal. We had a swan turn up yesterday, and there's about 1 million coots that have been diving all over our spots. It's really, really shallow. and every 10 minutes you're just getting picked up and wiped out by wildlife. So we're forever out in the boat, resetting the rods, trying to scare away the swan, and it was just an absolute nightmare. Not to mention the fact that the weather's changed again and we've got these really strong winds coming through now. We had a big band of rain last night, and again it's rather cold. So we can't have a feel now. That has kind of shut up shop for the fishing. We're going to see it through till lunchtime today. We've got the kettle on this morning, so we're going to have a cup of tea, make a plan, start packing down some kit, and you never know, there might be one more carp in it, but if we don't, what a trip this has been. We have had such a journey to get here, and we've had our sort of ups and downs. Even smashed my wing mirror on my van the other day, which is a right pain in the arse because now I need to go and get that fixed. But that being said, 1,500 miles for a couple of carp. You may call me crazy and you may think I'm mad, but I absolutely love fishing and I love the journey that I have to go on to catch some of these carp. So let's give it a few more hours, slow pat down, and then you never know, we might have one more carp in it yet. That was a long old drive. Now some people may think I'm absolutely mad, and I probably am, but carp fishing is not just about catching fish for me. It's all about that journey, it's all about the adventure, and this trip has certainly been that. From as far down to the south of France, back to the middle of the country, and then all the way over to the Netherlands. What a journey it's been. It's now getting late. It's getting on a little bit now, and we are just starting to arrive at the Eurotunnel to head home. Couple of fish, some great food, a long old journey, but also some great company with my friend Neil. Thanks for watching this vlog. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you again for another vlog and another European adventure very soon.